Emily here with Whispering Roots, and this week I'm going to show y'all how to cook with the green onions that Emma showed you guys how to grow last week. So I'm going to show you guys how to make a recipe called scallion pancakes, and scallion is just another term for green onions. Now there's a lot of different recipes we can encompass green onions in, but this one I thought really showcases the green onion, and it's pretty simple. It's literally just like flour, water, and green onions, and some like soy sauce and some other flavors I'm gonna show you guys. But if that's not your thing, we also have a chimichurri recipe, and chimichurris are super unique where you can kind of put whatever herb you want in there. And Anna made a video about a year ago. It's on our YouTube channel, so if you want to check that out, go ahead and check that out. It's nice for dips. You can put it on tofu, steak, you can put it in salads. It's super versatile and it's really good. So check that one out too. But now I'm gonna show you guys how to make our scallion pancakes. All right, y'all, these are our ingredients this week. Super simple, really easy. We have some green onions here that we're gonna chop and dice up, some ginger that we're gonna grate later at the end, all-purpose flour, some low sodium soy sauce, some sesame oil, and rice vinegar. Oh, and you will need a teaspoon of salt. Our first step for this recipe is to put 2.5 cups of flour into a bowl with a teaspoon of salt and a tablespoon of our sesame oil, and mix that up with a fork or a whisk. While we're mixing our flour together, we're gonna have some water boiling for us on the stove. Once that water has come to a boil and then cooled a little bit, we're gonna safely pour it into 1 cup. And then we're going to transfer this 1 cup into our flour mixture. To make sure that our water is being well incorporated into our flour, we're first gonna mix with a fork, and then we're gonna mix with our hands. You can do this in the bowl, or you can pour out the mixture on a floured surface and mix on that. As you mix your dough together and try to form it, this step can be a little tricky because it might be too dry, but it might be too wet. Mine, as you can see, was too dry, so I added a little bit more water to it. So go ahead and adjust what you need for your dough. And now my dough is perfect, and this is exactly what you want your dough to look like. So while our dough rests for an hour, we are going to walk over here and cut up our green onions, and we're gonna make our dipping sauce for this recipe. For the green onions, we're gonna wanna cut off just the root part of the green onion and keep the white part on, because that actually has a lot of the flavor and it creates the oniony flavor for the green onions. And then we're going to make 2 strips out of each of the cylinder parts of the green onion, and then we're gonna chop them up. This style of cutting is actually really popular, and you've probably seen us use this style when we're cutting our sweet potatoes and our squash, as well as our carrots. Now we're just applying this to our green onions. It's pretty much the same thing, so it's like a half moon type of cutting. And this will give us a lot of green onions that we can disperse throughout the pancakes as well as in our sauce. So this should give us about 2 cups of green onions. Now, for our sauce, we're going to take 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, we're gonna take 2.5 tablespoons of rice vinegar and then half a teaspoon of sesame oil. Then we're going to grate some ginger evenly through it and about a tablespoon of our chopped green onions. So after we've let our dough sit for an hour, this is what it should look like. If yours wasn't nice and smooth in the beginning, after about 20 minutes of letting your dough sit, you can knead it again to kind of smooth out the outside of it to make it a nice smooth texture. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to split this up into 8 pieces. So we don't have to make it exact, but we wanna try to cut it in the middle. If you don't have one of these little things, which is really rare, you can just take a knife and a cutting board and it should do just the same exact thing. So I have a half, and then I'm going to split my 2 halves in half. And then when I split my 2 halves in half, I'm going to split that in half. So that should give me 8 pieces. After we have our 8 pieces, we're gonna roll them out into cylinders and then push them flat on our surface. You can use a rolling pin or whatever cylinder object that you have. I used a pepper shaker, as you could see there. You can use a bottle or whatever you have in your house. Next, for every pancake that we flatten, we're gonna add about 1 teaspoon of canola oil and 1 tablespoon of our chopped green onions. Then we're going to roll it away from us, just like that, making sure it's nice and tight. And then we're going to coil our roll. And after we coil this roll, we're going to flatten it all over again. And that will be our pancake. So now we're gonna pour about a tablespoon of canola oil and let that heat up. Okay, so once we get our pancake nice and flat, it might fall apart a little bit, it's pretty fragile. You wanna get that as thin as possible so that it cooks all the way through. And then once you get the oil nice and hot, you're just gonna wanna add that. And then after we place our pancake in there, we're gonna wanna cover it and to cook it fully through at the beginning. So about a minute, 2 minutes. I would check on it every now and then just to make sure it's not sticking. Everyone's pans and everyone's stoves are different. So mine actually cooks really, really hot, even though I have it on like medium to low. So I'm gonna regularly check on my pancake. So we want this nice brown crust, but we also don't want it to be raw in the middle. So we just want to keep covering this to make sure that it's getting cooked all the way through. So we're gonna take the lid off. We're gonna check on our pancakes, and that is actually looking really good. Oh my gosh, yeah, I think that's ready. And there you have it, y'all, our nice crispy scallion pancakes. All right, everyone, that's it for me this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this special recipe. I know it's really snowy outside. There's gonna be some snow days coming up possibly for the kids. So this is a wonderful way to get the kids in the kitchen with such small amounts of ingredients, super simple. You can get the whole family to do it. So I really hope you all enjoy this recipe and try it at home. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel as well as our YouTube channel. Next week, Emma's gonna be on showing you guys how to grow something new, so stay tuned for that. And I will see you guys in about 2 weeks.